Hi everybody, welcome to today's workshop, which is Keychain Characters. We are going to paint faces and do a little resin on top of these cute little guys. So the supplies that you're going to need is this super LED UV resin, and I've got mine there. Couple of paint colors. Sprinklets, we're gonna use these for the eyes. We have a Sharpie pencil, our template, of course our two little keychains, a palette, something to pour your paint on, paintbrush, we're just using the little paintbrush today. This is the resin light, which it's a lamp that will help cure the resin. It has a little button here on the back to turn it on. And then this extension cord that you'll need to plug into a USB phone cord thingamathing. And let's see, I think that's it. Oh, and water. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So our cute little keychain characters, we're just going to do one at a time. I'll show you how to do one and then you can do the other one later. We are going to start with, I think I'll do the heart shape. And I've gone ahead and poured out a little of the orange in my palette here. Take my brush and I'm going to cover it. Now, when I paint on here, I'm just doing a light coat. I don't want it to be thick because I do want it to dry quickly. Just a thin coat. Nice coverage. If you have more paints at home, you could do other colors, of course, too. But this one I thought would be fun. Okay. And a nice thin coat. That shouldn't take very long to dry at all. I'm going to go ahead and clean out my paintbrush so I can use that later. Okay, while this part is drying, I'm just going to get all this out of the way so we can focus on what we're doing. Get that out of the way. Okay, so while this is drying, I'm going to choose which template that I want. And between these two, you can draw your own character if you want, but I think I'm gonna do this fun little guy. I need some scissors. I'll go ahead and cut that out. Cut him out. So choose your character and the shape that matches, of course. You can add to this character's face. I'm just going to show you a simple way to trace that image and get it on to your surface, so then you can outline it with your Sharpie. Get that out of the way. So I've got my pencil and I'm going to trace over the eyes. And I can do a couple of circles. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then the nose. Okay. Now how the heck am I going to get this on here? Well, first I want to make sure this is dry. And actually that was a really thin coat, so mine is dry. Yours may not be, so you may want to wait. But you definitely want to make sure this is dry before you do this next step. So you may want to pause, make sure it's dry, and then go on. I'm going to go on because I know mine's dry. So I'm going to take this guy and his face, and I'm actually going to face him down on top of the heart. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to rub and just scribble all over that. Okay, and reveal. And I can lightly, can you guys see that? I can see those at an angle I can. Now I'm going to use my Sharpie. Now, since we've painted this, the Sharpie will draw on here really nicely. If we were to take our Sharpie and draw on the raw wood, it may bleed a little, and I don't like the way that looks. But if we put a coat of paint down first, that seems to help the bleeding. So I'm just going to trace over those lines that I had. Now, if you wanted to get more creative and do a few more things, you totally can. I'm going to just stick to the pattern like that. I can't really see where I put the little eyes, but I can use this as a reference. I'm just going to put dots there because eventually I'm going to use these little sprinklets. Okay. It's my cute little critter. I'm actually going to put some ears on him, like these. Use your imagination. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Now, while the Sharpie is just going to kind of settle, I'm going to pull out a couple of these little pieces. I think the black swirls are going to look really nice for eyeballs. I'll just set them on here so you guys can see what I mean. There's stars and stuff in there too you could use. Isn't that funny? Okay, so shake those off. And I'll just use a tiny little bit of white glue. Just the smallest amount. Because I want those to just tack on there. Just set it down. Okay. Now the next part that we're going to do is we're going to add a little resin to this. And you can choose which part that you want to resin. I'm choosing only to do some parts because I really like the contrast of the flat paint and then the shininess of that resin. Now I think for this guy right here, it would be cute if I just do maybe the eyes and the ears and the nose with just a little bit of resin. So let's talk about resin. All of you got a little bottle like this and it says LED UV Super Resin. You'll want to open the cap from here, the big part right here. I want you to twist that open and open the cap. Inside you will find a little rubber stopper. It's clear and you'll just pull that little part out. What that does is it helps with shipping so nothing oozes out before it comes to you or to us when we sell it in the store. So again, you'll twist this big portion out and then inside you'll see a little cap, little clear cap. Pull that out and you can throw it away and twist the lid back on. I've already done it. I've used this several times, so mine is already out. But I want you to put the top back on and then we will use the resin from the pointy cap. And you just, and then it's ready to pour out. With that stopper in there, it will never pour out. But now we can, because we removed the stopper. Now we're just going to put a little drop wherever you want your resin, and it doesn't take much at all. And just put a tiny little bit. Then I'm going to take my toothpick and spread it around just in the area that I want it to be shiny. Now this one went over the edge a little bit. I am totally okay with that. I think it kind of adds a little character. It's art. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just having fun. So for me, I just put it on the little ears. And then I think it'll be cute if I give him a little shiny nose. Just a really tiny little drop for the nose. And then last, I want to do it around his eyeballs. So I'll put a drop in this eye and a drop in that eye. Just a little bit. Take my toothpick. You see, actually I'm going over that little eyeball that we glued down earlier. Just in the lines. Again, if you go outside of the line a little bit, that's okay. Adds character. And this is actually a keychain character. Ta-da! Just put it there. Raise it up so you guys can see. Shiny part on the eyes and the ears. Now we want that to dry, this nice little layer, and so that's what our lamp is for. I'm going to move the lamp close to my keychain, and then I'm going to turn it on just by pressing this little button right here. And that lights up for 1 minute. Push the button once and it sets it for 1 minute. Keep that over here, and I'm making sure too that my bottle of resin is not directly next to this. I do want it to be spaced out. So you don't want the direct UV light to hit this resin because that's what cures it. The bottle is black to protect the resin inside, but I always make sure that they're not very close to each other. If you have a piece of paper or something that you can cover the lamp with, like this, that helps too, and it protects your eyes as well. So again, that's setting for 1 minute. And while that's setting, you can start to think about your next keychain that you're going to do. Okay. And I'm going to take my finger and just lightly touch it, and it's dry. And there you have it. A cute little keychain character. You have another piece that you can use your imagination and the patterns provided and repeat and do the same thing by painting and then tracing. Go over it with the Sharpie and then resin on top. Can't wait to see what your keychain characters look like. Have fun!